So today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I am not doing any magic videos or whatever today, so I'm going to actually show you my knife kit. It's a little worn down and beat up. I am a Red Seal chef. For those of you who don't know, I've been cooking for about 8 years now, and I'm actually getting out of it, but it's still a passion of mine. Food is always a passion, if you can't tell. But yeah, so let's just get right to it. This is the knife kit. It's a knife roll, I guess, that I got in culinary school. Which was 7 or 8 years ago. I was 18. And I was in school for 3 years. I apprenticed for 2 of those years. I went to school every Monday, but I worked the rest of the time. I had I don't know what the pay's like in the States, but I was making $12 an hour, which isn't very much here. And I basically worked 8 in the morning till later in the evening, every day, sometimes till like midnight or 1. But I got to make whatever I wanted. I changed the menu every 2 days. It was like a 6 to 8 course meal for a set price. A couple things have gone missing over the years, or have stopped being useful. My old chef kind of tried to use one of my chef's knives to open a coconut, and he still owes me one. So I'll go in order from left to right, starting with these two. They're the exact same. They're just bread slicers. They're really long. Like, if you can tell, it's from my elbow to my fingertip. Which I love, because you can just go straight through any piece of bread in one slice. Yeah, professional high carbon surgical steel, which sounds kind of weird, but it's what's called a scalloped knife. So a serrated knife has points, like fine ridges. Scalloped has more of a wavy-like look to it, like if you can see there. It's got like little dips. A serrated knife, I don't think I even have one because I'm not really a fan. They go straight up and down. So that's the difference. It's got just a plastic, like rubbery type handle. These did come with the knife kit that I got. You can see my girlfriend's CD collection. If any of you guys listen to Interpol, Radiohead, Led Zeppelin, Black Keys, White Lies, stuff like that, give me a shout out, because that's what all those CDs are. A bunch of older stuff as well. Next I have an oyster knife. So, as you can see, it's relatively thick, and then it comes to a point here, and then it's rounded. And so it's really, really sturdy, and it's got this guard, and then it's got what's called a full, or I guess you'd call it like a 8/10 tang. What tang is the part of the knife that goes into the handle. So this one almost goes all the way, but not quite. And then it's got these like little grips, so you can hold it. And what it is for is you take an oyster. You usually have a cloth in your hand. You take the oyster and you stick that in there. The guard prevents it not only from going all the way through, but prevents it from the oyster cutting into your hand. Because this thing, although it's not like crazy sharp, you put enough pressure on an oyster to crack it open, that it will cut you pretty bad if you're not careful. So, it took me a long time to find one that doesn't bend with excessive cracking. And this one is fantastic. It's really, really strong, and it's taken a lot of abuse. So, that's an oyster knife, and it's quite shiny, as you can see. My girlfriend's Led Zeppelin poster that the cat ripped. So, there's the oyster knife. Next I have something that I don't really use a lot. I have this little thermometer. It's in Celsius because I'm Canadian. It's got this little sleeve so it can stick into your shirt pocket. And you just pull it out, or in your sleeve. Yeah, the only thing I really would ever use it for is for like whole chickens or big pieces of meat, but a lot of the time I don't really need to. The only thermometer I really ever use is a candy thermometer, and that's just because that stuff gets too hot to use one of these for. Next is probably, I don't know, with the exception of the chef's knife, it might be the most important part of a knife kit or any cook's arsenal. And that's the steel. So, for those of you who don't know what a steel is, it's essentially a handle with a metal rod sticking out, and the rod is grooved. I don't know if you can see, it's really fine. There's all these lines. And what the lines do is, I'll show you really quick. This is my chef's knife. It is a Japanese global knife. It's one piece. It's ice tempered stainless steel. So it's really light, like very, very light, and very sharp. It is incredibly sharp. I cannot stress that enough. Knives are deadly sharp things. And it's got this little groove here, so it's really nice to hold. For those of you who hold your knives like this, don't. Grab the blade a little bit, grip it like that, and use the rocking motion. Yeah, you have better control. But anyways, it's got grooves in the handle as well, so it's really grippy, really nice. Anyways, the point of a blade is basically like an upside down V, right? Over time, as you're cutting things, you get little notches and divots and little bent spots in the knife. What the object of the steel is if you put it at a 25-degree angle and you drag your knife slowly and very lightly down it, don't put any pressure, just let your knife go, and then go to the other side. What it does is So then you have to actually use a sharpening stone to shave off those bits of metal. I believe this one's an 8-inch blade. I think I paid something like, I bought 3 knives and they came to like $300, I think. So not too bad. They have a lifetime warranty and stuff, although I'm not sure Global is still around. But my old chef's knife that my chef broke was actually the same brand as these. It was my cooking school one, and it was a 10-inch blade, and it was really heavy, and I liked it a lot. So going from the heavy blade to this one was a little weird, but this knife is fantastic. Like, it has almost no weight to it. Like, it's good. It's really good. So that's that guy. Now I have 2 melon ballers. They're 3 different sizes. So these things have a wide range of, you can kind of see I engraved the letter N for my name in here in cooking school. But this one is a larger one, normally used for things like Parisian potatoes. So you take a scoop out of a potato to make a nice ball, then you fry them or bake them, and you've got little delicious balls of potato. They're also used for melon balling. You can scoop out balls of melon and use them as garnish, or in like a melon soup or something. Cold melon soup, not hot. They have these little holes in there, in each one, to prevent them from, so the stuff, whatever you're scooping, doesn't stick into it. You always have a way of getting it out. Similar to like a garbage can. If your garbage is stuck in the garbage can because of suction, if you like put a hole in the bottom of the garbage can, it won't do that. Life hacks. But yeah, so there's tons of uses for these things. Anything for garnishes, little additions to soups, lots of stuff. Yeah, you don't just have to do potatoes, you can do any root vegetable. Yeah, tons of things. So these have been handy over the years. This one, obviously, is very well made. This one's not as well made, but it really does the job. It's one solid piece of metal with just a plastic handle, so it'll still work even if the plastic falls off, which it won't anytime soon. So I've done a lot of carving in my days. Meat carving stations. I worked in Banff, Alberta, for those of you who don't know where that is. There's a big hotel called the Fairmont, and they're a global hotel chain. And I worked at one of their branches in Banff, the Banff Springs Hotel, for a few months. And we would often have to carve entire legs of beef for customers, like 1 leg per person and whatnot. For those of you who have cooked and stuff, this isn't a big deal, but for some of you it is. So I've needed these guys. It's a meat fork, and what it is it helps you carry meat around. It gives you something to stick in the meat while you're cutting it, so you're not like grabbing with your hands and burning yourself and all that stuff. It's pretty basic. I've used it to like help me move pans around and stuff if they're too hot from the oven. So it's just one of those tools that's kind of just good at what it does. Every tool has a purpose. This is something I stress a lot to people that I'm training or teaching or whatever. Every tool, whether it be a knife, a fork, something, everything has its purpose. Yes, everything has multiple purposes, but everything is built for a main purpose. So use it for, cool. But don't use it for the wrong jobs. Like, I see people often using a paring knife to chop vegetables and stuff, and that's not. You can accomplish so much more in a faster time if you just use a chef's knife. The rocking motion and the length of the handle is designed for that mass chopping, cutting through big things. That's what this is for. This is an all-purpose tool. A paring knife is not used for chopping up sweet potato. That's, it's not a good use of your tools. Paring knives are used to peel vegetables and to like do finer stuff, usually. So next, with another like a one-time use tool, something that pretty much has a purpose, and that is a zester. This one doesn't have. Sometimes it'll come with like a little V on it, and it'll be like a little blade. That's called a channel knife. That's used for like peeling down cucumbers and whatnot to make designs. This is used. You take a lemon or a citrus fruit and you peel little strips of the zest off. The zest is the outside part, the colored part of a citrus fruit. That has a lot of the oil and the flavor without the acidity. So what you do is you peel a citrus fruit and you use that. A lot of mixologists use it in their drinks, like martinis and stuff, put a little bit of zest in it. Use it for garnishes, for desserts, salads, any entree. Like, you can use it for anything. A little bit of lemon zest on top of something. You can chop it up, put it in a gremolata, put it in like all sorts of stuff. It's really useful if you're a fan of citrus fruits. This is a mainstay. You have to have one of these, because if you're throwing out the zest and only using the juice, you're basically wasting half the fruit, because it's the best part. So, pick yourself up one of these if you don't have one. Okay. Next, I have a boning knife. So, the difference between a boning knife and a filleting knife. A filleting knife is usually a little bit thinner, and it's used to go through a fish. It doesn't need to be really thick, because fish is delicate. You don't need a lot of pressure to go through a fish and work around the bones. A boning knife is the exact same thing, but thicker, because when you're working around beef and pork and lamb bones, you need a little bit more pressure. Not as much as a chef's knife. You need more of a fine-tuned blade for this. When you're working with bigger cuts of meat, I was always told to cut, not like, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. My chef always told me to hold my knife like sort of like a pencil, and that's what I do for the most part. You cut gently away from the bone, and sometimes you will have to like get in there and work stuff out. Hip bones are really bad. Hip bones and joints are the banes of my existence. But anyways, that's the difference between a boning knife and a filleting knife, is basically the thickness of the blade. When you're cutting a piece of salmon, you have to work along the bones, and you have to be able to feel it more. You have to like judge where you're cutting, not into the bone. You don't want pieces of bone in your meat, but you want to just sit above it. Whereas this one, you can feel easily, more easily anyways, where the bones are. And you basically just have to get through the meat. This one would have a hard time cutting through beef. Like, you'd be able to do it, but you'd have a harder time than if you were to use this knife. I don't actually have a normal paring knife in here. A paring knife, like I've said, is just a little short blade. this, but really small, like half the size at least. There's also a utility knife, which is between a paring knife and a chef's knife. And it's kind of just an all-purpose knife too, if you don't want to use a big chef's knife. This is called a tournay knife. So a tournay, for those of you who don't know, is basically when you take, it's called turning. You take a vegetable, usually a potato, a root vegetable, and you cut the tops off to make it flat, and then you use this tournay knife to cut 7 equal sides down it, but in a rounded motion. So it basically is an oval shaped root vegetable with 7 flat sides. They're flat but oval. So this is really good because it's got an arch built into it, so it goes really well for rounding stuff off. I also use it for peeling vegetables. It's really good for vine work because it's like the smallest little point on that thing, and it's got like a really good curve on it, so it's just used to do little detailed work. It's great. This is one of my favorite knives. It's good for everything. Well, you know what I mean. It's good for everything that it's supposed to do. So that's that. And now on to my favorite and last knife. It is one of my other global knives. So I have this one, and then I have a slicer similar to this, but it's got the metal handle and it's got a little point to it, but it's generally the same. And then I have this. This is my global filleting knife. So as you can see, the handle is really built for your hand for detailed, more precise work. It's not this big bulky thing that you have to hang on to. And it is one piece, just like the other ones. It's got a nice sharp blade on it. It's a fantastic knife. It sits really well in your hand. It's really light. You can feel every little bone that you're cutting through. I know this kind of sounds creepy, but if you're a foodie like I am, this is like heaven, because there's nothing worse than trying to make something fancy at home and not having the right tools. I hate cooking at home sometimes for that reason. You're like, oh, I wish I had like creme brulee dishes, but you're like, oh, I guess I'm cooking in cups or something. But the coolest part about this knife is the flexibility of the blade. It bends around the bones of the fish because the blade is so flexible. You can just take it and bend it, and it goes right back to normal. The metal is so strong, but it can bend so easily. It's easily the best investment I've made in knives. I do want to get some German carbon steel knives, because those are the best. Like, German knives by far are amazing. But this is definitely a work of art. It's such a beautiful knife. And yeah, that's my knife kit. You guys can like kind of see down here. It just all folds together and rolls up. And yeah, I bring it to my jobs. Sometimes I don't really anymore, but because people tend to try open coconuts with them. But yeah, that's my life. That's cooking. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. It's a little